But let's just go on to our next question, and it's regarding the manager situation at Spurs, regarding Mason and Stellini. I mean, there's been a lot of questions regarding Antonio Conte throughout the whole season. He left, Stellini got the job, which was absolutely bizarre to me, absolutely bizarre. But now he's gone, Mason is in charge. We'll start with you, Crackers. Is this the right move for the club right at this moment in time?
No, because it should have never have got to this, should it? Back in January, Antonio Conte started filling his nappy in press conference and post-match conferences, and you could see the writing on the wall. The moment he went in on the club, you knew that was the beginning of the end. So even from January, that board the next day should have convened and said, okay, right, Antonio has absolutely lost it last night. We all know how this ends with Antonio. We've seen it at previous clubs. This is the beginning of the end. At some stage, he will go, or we will have to get rid of him because it's gone. And there would have been stuff that we're not privy to going on, which would have formed their opinion. So right back from January, they should have gone, well, this is coming to an end. Where's our next move? But they didn't. They just let him carry on and just get more and more vocal and vociferous in these press conferences, to the point of where the next move for him was literally just punching Daniel Levy on the nose. He was begging to be sacked, begging, and they done nothing about it. And then all of a sudden he goes, and it just seemed like on the Monday morning, Stellini's turned up for work and gone, hello, Daniel. I don't know if you know me. I normally put the combs out for Antonio. And they've gone, you're the manager, crack on. and that was that. And everybody was like, what are you doing? You've just got rid of Antonio Conte, and now we've got like Lidl's Antonio Conte. If you go to wish.com and order Antonio Conte, you get a Stellini. And it's bizarre, absolutely bizarre appointment. Everybody went, well, this ain't happening. Now, Ryan Mason, and it feels to me that, look, Ryan's a lovely guy. I've met Ryan a couple of times. He is properly Tottenham, okay? You cannot get away from that. But then Lee's a lovely guy, proper Tottenham. You, Sim, you, Ben. I know 1,001 people that are lovely guys and proper Tottenham. Have we got it in our locker to manage a top 5-6 Premier League football team? We haven't. And I get he's had a career as such in football as a player, but that doesn't qualify you to be a coach. And this feels like the board has gone, put Ryan Mason in the dugout. He's a Tottenham boy. He was dealt a terrible hand of fate with his injury. This might just knock the edges off of them booing in the stands on Thursday night. It feels cynical. It feels like a human shield. We shouldn't even be there. And for me, look, if it's not going to be Pochettino, okay, fair enough. Off he goes, away you go. But there's other candidates out there. If it's to be Nagelsmann, go and get him today. Make him an offer he cannot refuse. If that man is Slot, ditto. If it's company, the same. Make them an offer to make sure that they are at the training ground tomorrow morning. Get yourself together and sort it now. But it should never come to that. One goes, one comes in. You should see it coming. So, look, we are where we are. It is going to be Ryan Mason. I wish him all the best. I know that there's sections of the fan base out there that would like to see us get cuffed again on Thursday night to speed things up with the demise of the reign of Daniel Levy or Enoch. And there's other fans that don't. I know once kickoff comes Thursday night, just me personally, I'll be behind the team. I want to see us to win. I just can't do 47 years of supporting Tottenham and want to see us lose. Even in the grand scheme of things, of it maybe bringing about change quicker, I'm sorry, it's just in my blood. If that makes me a terrible person, so be it. But if you want us to lose Thursday night, God bless you. But please don't come at people that do want to see us win once that whistle goes. That's the madness of being a football fan, isn't it? Absolute madness of the psyche of football that it gets you like that. So I wish Ryan luck, but know that you're being played, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that about wanting Spurs to lose, because I've also seen quite a lot of that doing the rounds on social media, especially by Levy out and Enoch out kind of brigade. But for me, I mean, I could never ever want Spurs to lose unless it's to stop Arsenal winning the league. That's the only situation I think I could ever want Tottenham to lose in, to be honest. And look, Lee, what are you feeling about the whole situation? I mean, you can't say that you're happy that Mason's in, but do you think it's the right move at this stage of the season, at this moment in time?
I think the thing for me to sum up where we're at is that a few years ago, during COVID, we got to a League Cup final. And the football was turgid. And after I think we're 3-1 up against West Ham in the October. And we end up drawing 3-3 with that freaking Lanzini goal. And then after that, Jose Mourinho just went, that's it. We go low block, we defend. That's what we're going to get. And to be honest, lads, viewers and listeners, we've got since that moment, basically defend, no front foot attacking football at all from any of the managers that have come in. The point being is when we get to the February during that year or that same match week, we sack Jose Mourinho 6 days before a cup final and we put in the rookie that is Ryan Mason. Now, I echo everything Cracker said about Ryan, the top guy, proper Spurs, and I do wish him the best genuinely. I think he's going to have a fantastic career. But to put a bloke in charge 6 days before a cup final is utterly ridiculous. It's a ridiculous situation. And to come back to the point Ben and Sim, you both made earlier about the European Super League, it was all around that time as well that the ESL was going on and so on and so forth. And I'm absolutely certain, not by any sources or inside information, just from my own opinion, that the reason why that happened is because we thought we were going in the Super League and the Carabao Cup don't matter a jot because we're going to be in the Super League. Obviously, that didn't happen. It could be a case of if Jose Mourinho wins a trophy, he gets a massive bonus, and maybe the club, the board, Mr. Levy didn't want to pay it out. Whatever you think. But the point I'm making is that Ryan Mason comes in charge 6 days before a cup final. He wins 6 games left. So he wins 4 of them in the league, and then he loses 2, including Aston Villa away. 2 years later, the exact same thing is going on, minus the cup final, which is very obviously a shame. But we've got 6 games left in the league. Ryan Mason comes in as a caretaker manager, and what? I mean, this is the reality of the club's decisions over and over and over again. It's just the same. It's the same stuff. Boys, listen, viewers, it's the same thing, and something has to change. It needs to be different. Whether that's Levy in or out, we're getting to that a bit later. But the reality of Ryan Mason coming in, what is he going to change? We've just seen against Newcastle, you can't play a back four with the personnel we've got. Unless Emerson Royale and Ben Davies are fully fit, we ain't playing a back four, surely, against Manchester United, because we're going to get absolutely ruined. And the way the style of play of Mason is to play a back four. Typically he plays a 4-2-3-1 like Poch. So I don't know. Obviously, I'm the same. I can't see us lose. It pains me. I get grumpy. I get grumpy with my family. I'm a nightmare. I know it's totally immature, but I'm a nightmare like that. And it affects me when we lose football matches. I want to be winning football matches. So when the whistle goes, like Cracker said, obviously I want to win. I want to beat Manchester United. But we have to learn. You know, we can't keep making the same mistakes on the pitch. We can't keep making the same mistakes at management level. And we can't keep making the same mistakes at board level, because it is constant. It is tiring, boys. It is tiring. So I do wish, like Cracker said, I do wish Mason the best. But is the voice in the dressing room going to be that different? We've had it before. So is it going to be different? What this team needs today is a new voice to reinvigorate and say, this is how we're going to do things now. I'm the person in charge. This is where we are. This is where we're going. That comes from the top, but also from the new manager. So if a Nagelsmann is their preferred, and they can't get him in before the end of the season, but they can do the deal and announce it. Interim manager Ryan Mason's going to take us, but we've got Nagelsmann. It's something for us to get behind. Do you agree with me, lads? It's
100%. 100%.
Don't wait until the summer and then announce it if you know that it's going to be done now. And obviously, if you can't get it done, then get whatever you can get done, but announce it. If you can't get the guy in to Hotspur Way tomorrow or this week, but at least announce the fact that he's coming so we can get excited, and then we can start to build from there. So look, I hope we win every game of the season. I hope we smash Manchester United. I hope we absolutely batter Liverpool. I hope we absolutely ruin Crystal Palace, etc., etc. We're not going to, but that's what I hope, because we had the best ever start to a Premier League season this year. Can you actually believe that? It's just unfathomable. I can't understand it. Our record points total year of 86 under Pochettino, we had a better start this year than them. Not in terms of playing football, but in terms of points total games played. I mean, this is unreal. We should have been, for record points total, we should have been getting 88, 90 points this year. We're barely going to, well, even if we win all our games, we won't get enough to get even mathematically into the top four, even though that's completely gone now. We get 71 points if we win all of our games, and we're not going to do that. So it's just really disappointing, lads, isn't it?
Of course it is. I mean, Sim, what are your thoughts on it? And do you think that it's possible for us, with the Italians gone, to have a strong end to the season?
Not particularly, no. I think we can win a few. Maybe we can win a game or two. Maybe beat Palace. Maybe I don't know. Maybe win another game. But I think this team has shown time and time again that they have given up the fight. They don't care anymore this season. I think it's not just the Newcastle game was the best example of it, but I think we saw it at Southampton. I think we saw it at Everton. I think we saw it maybe not so much against Bournemouth, but we saw it recently. For me, I said it after the Everton games, the red flags were there. After Everton, if you can't win in that position when they've gift wrapped you the game, you're 1-0 up against 10 men. Everton have done nothing all game, and you just literally have to see out like the last 20 minutes again with an extra man, and you are not only not able to do that, but you get dominated. And you probably could have lost the game. That's how bad it was. That, to me, after that game, I said, I think on the stream the next day, I would have sacked him. I think there's no point carrying on with this. There's no point. Because if you can't win in that position, then what position can you win? If you look up in the dictionary, papering over the cracks, you would have seen Tottenham versus Brighton. That's probably what would have come on, because we got so lucky to win that game. It was unbelievable. Like, it was incredible. I think that he should never be given the job in the first place. It was right to sack him now, but it's too little, too late. The cynical part of me sees this as just like what Bowley's doing with Lampard, just kind of appointing him because he knows that the fans aren't going to start chucking abuse at a person they really like, and it kind of takes the pressure off a bit in that sense, and it maybe buys a bit of time to go look for a manager. I'm guessing that's the cynical part of me who thinks that's why this appointment's been made. I don't see it improving. I can maybe see us scoring a few more goals, but I don't see us him making us defensively solid in any way. These defenders are a shambles. I don't believe these players believe in themselves that they're still in this top four race, and I think we've now seen it in the last few games that they've completely lost belief. They lost fight, and I don't see Mason being that guy to turn that around. So maybe if he was sacked, maybe he was brought in straight after Conte, and it was straight away a new approach. And in the last few games, it was something different. I don't know. I'm not saying it was guaranteed, but maybe we could have put ourselves back in that top four conversation. I think now it's too little, too late. I don't see these players fighting tooth and nail just to get a Conference League or Europa League spot, to be honest. I think they don't care about that. So I see it just getting more and more toxic, to be honest, now to the end of the season.
Sim, do you care about the Conference League? Like, from a fan? I mean, you go home and away, you travel everywhere, right? You boys travel everywhere, the channel travels everywhere. Do you want Europa Conference? This is a hard one, right?
If you ask me,
we want to win, but
if you ask me about Europa League, I wouldn't mind Europa League for next season, to be honest, because I do think that's a decent competition you can win. For me, Conference League, it's a waste of time. I really believe that. I know West Ham are doing well in it this season. It'll be a great achievement for them if they do win it, but I'm just not bothered about it. I think it's a third-rate European competition, which is honestly a waste of time. Last season, it was only good because we went out on it in January, and it became a good season because we got top four. It didn't lead to anything, but I don't think we would have enjoyed last season if we stayed in the Conference League, to be honest. I'm not bothered about Conference League. I'm really not.
I think it will serve us much better being out of Europe completely for a year. Focus on the league, focus on the domestic, and start to build the squad. That's my opinion. And it's like, if we do get battered to Manchester United on Thursday night, are they going to sack Mason? Are we going to go for a record 4th manager in one season? I mean, Sim brought up a point when we were doing our videos yesterday. Dan Juma has had less appearances than he's had managers at Spurs. Richarlison has got less goals than he's got managers at Spurs. I mean, what a shambles it is at this football club.
And we're the first team as well to sack an interim and appoint an interim for the interim. Like, it's madness.
Yeah.
We do love first at Tottenham, don't we? We do love
and
first.
But does that not like just tell people something? You know, we're in the same position we were 2 years ago, sacking a trophy-laden manager to appoint Mason for the last 6 games of the season. It's Groundhog Day. Yeah. We're back here again. We've literally gone through a whole loop.
Why don't we just have a guest manager for every game? Why don't we try that? Yeah, I mean, we could have Michael McIntyre on Thursday night, and then we could, and Costa could go in for the game after, and I'd just try and pull up some like celeb Tottenham fans, couldn't we?
Forget for the celeb Tottenham fans, get Beyonce in for one. Why not?
Get Beyonce in for a game.
Take it for the rest of the season.
The other commercial opportunity you couldn't put past this club either. Next year's 2024 club calendar could have 12 managers. January Conte, February Stellini, Mason March. We could have 12 managers on the club calendar. Come on, Club Shop, up here for thinking, down there for money. Just make it happen.
I want to ask this question though. If let's say Mason somehow wins all 6 games and plays great football, is there even a 1% chance we could appoint him full time? And because there were rumours, I remember.
If Mason overnight turns into Pep Guardiola, shaves his head and starts playing tiki-taka.
Was there not talk a few months ago saying some in the hierarchy believe Mason could recreate what Arteta has done at Arsenal? If there is that actual belief in the hierarchy, do you guys reckon there's any chance Mason could earn himself a permanent role here as manager?
Do I want him to earn it is a different question. Do I think that the board might do it? That's very different. So I asked the question from a board, but do I think there's a chance that the board would do that? Yeah, I do. I absolutely do, because the decisions that they make are baffling, but absolutely baffling. And I said on the show last one on Spurs last night, that the recruitment decisions in this football club are absolutely abysmal from top to bottom. That from board recruitment level to management recruitment level, coaching recruitment level, player recruitment level, it's just been absolutely abysmal. So yes, Sim, from a perspective of could it happen? Could the board do it? Yes. Do the fans want it? That's up for the fans in terms of a poll. Would I want it? No. I think it's way too early for Mason. I think in the future maybe he might be good, but would we be thinking that differently? How many of us saw this Stellini situation happening when we beat Man City when he was in kind of caretaker charge, when we beat West Ham and when we beat Chelsea? If he'd have been offered the job then when Conte was still ill, would we have been going, okay, fair enough? But I don't know. So, results, what do they say? Results change games and results change situations, don't they? So, but I wouldn't put it past the board for appointing an absolute rookie manager for full time if he goes and wins his next 6 games.
Crackers, do you feel the same way? Or do you think it's a possibility?
In fantasy land, if it's absolutely possible. If you need, it's criteria that you need. Play some sort of football that your fans buy into and love. Now we're all go get 'em front foot, play exciting football sluts, aren't we? We can't put up. We always have been. We've always been sluts for it. We've always
just give us a bit of push and run football. We'll be all right.
Exactly, we're built on it from 51 with half a row onwards. As soon as a Ginola comes along, a Gascoigne comes along, we absolutely love it, don't we? You know, it's down the years we've always given people like Carrick stick. Oh, I don't mean Carrick's good enough. Waddle not good enough. But as soon as you bring in a fancy Dan, oh yes, please, I'll have a bit of that. That's just the DNA
Give me
of
a
Tottenham
bit of Jose
fans.
Dominguez. Come on.
There you go. There you go. So, look, if a manager's playing the sort of football that fans enjoy, he's getting results, then you would have to say, why not? If the players like him, why not? But the reality away from that fantasy land is you cannot go from, you know, a bit of being good mates with the current lot of players and doing a bit round the training ground to managing at that level. You know, you've got to go away and be assistant somewhere and then go and be a manager down in the National League or League Two, you know, like Justin Edinburgh, God bless him, was doing, you know. Now, there's somebody that, you know, and I wish to God he was still with us because what a great guy. There's somebody that you could have said, okay, Spurs player that can come through because he was cutting his teeth and cutting them well at Orient. But so Ryan Mason needs to do that. Company done what he done at City, then went to Burnley. I think he actually went in at quite a high level, but he's torn it up. You need to.
Anderlecht first though as well, Crackers.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've completely forgot that. You have to take those steps. So look, would I put it past the board to do it? I wouldn't put anything past them at the moment. I really, really wouldn't. You know, it's just the madness of this club and the decisions that are made at the moment. So he's not ready. One day, if he is, then well, we can all get behind that, can't we? Because he is a good guy. He's a Spurs man. We always want to see homegrown come back and tear it up. Of course we do. We buy into them more than anybody else, don't we? So yeah. See you in August, Ryan.
100%.